Hi, this is Walt Mossberg of the Wall Street Journal, and while all the buzz this week is about the super thin, a new Apple laptop called the MacBook Air, I've been reviewing something even smaller. It's called the ePC, that's E-E-E, and it's from a Taiwan computer maker named ASUS. And it is smaller than the smallest sub-notebook typically used by travelers on airplanes around the country. The EPC is in this category that the industry has been trying to fill that fits somewhere between a smartphone and a small laptop. All of these machines have failed so far. The EPC succeeds in a couple of areas where the others have fallen down, but I think it also has some fatal flaws. The first thing about it is it's very, very low priced. It sells for between $300 and $500 depending on the configuration you buy, so that's a good thing. The second thing is that unlike some of these other very small computers, the E has a workable keyboard. It's cramped, but it is a laptop type keyboard, whereas some of these other machines have been tablets that were difficult to operate or had truly, truly tiny keyboards. And so on the keyboard point, ASUS deserves credit, and the E is pretty decent. But it doesn't have a hard disk. It has very little storage available. It doesn't run Windows or the Mac OS, which are the most common operating systems for computer users. Instead, it uses a specialized version of Linux. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, and in fact, they've put a kind of nice, clean user interface on it. But once you get below the surface of the user interface, Linux can be very confusing in terms of the way that you fix errors or even interpret some of the messages, and there's just a lot less really simple software for Linux. In fact, some of the built-in programs on the E for music or photos are a lot clumsier, I think, than what you would find on a Windows or Macintosh computer. But my biggest problem with the EPC was the screen. It's a 7-inch screen, and that's very small. You can overcome the physical size of a screen with high resolution, but this really has low resolution. And so what that means is that if you're surfing the web or reading a document, you can only see a few lines at a time on the screen, and you're constantly scrolling to the point where I think it would drive you crazy. So I give ASUS credit for moving the ball on price, on keyboard, on a pretty clean interface, but I don't think the EPC is likely to pry too many people away from their Sonys or Lenovo's or other small laptops. This is Walt Mossberg from the Wall Street Journal, and I'll see you next week.